Hey guys, it's that time again. It's a brand new year. And being that it's a new year, I've decided to take on a massive body transformation. We all have that itch once a year where we get out of bed and we want to change something about ourselves. Whether it's getting a new job, going back to school, or if you're like me, getting rid of these few extra pounds that's been hanging around for way too long. But it's not that I haven't tried. This year, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stick to my goals. Enough of the new year, new me crap. Let's cut to the chase. For the past few years, I've been on what I call a fat bulking diet.
Fat bulking diet.
Okay, so if fat bulking sounds like a weird term, it is. I just made it up. But in reality, that is what it has occurred. Throughout my life, with both the lack of nutrition knowledge and living out of convenience, I have put on some serious pounds. This extra weight is mostly fat, and the decision to store that fat was solely mine. Nobody forced me to drink soda or eat McDonald's. Most of us started out on the smaller side. Everything that went into our mouth has made our bodies into the way it is today. Slowly over time, the pounds crept up on me. 1 pound of fat gained is 12 pounds in a year. If this continues for 2 years, you've gained 24 pounds of fat and more than likely look completely different than you did even a year ago. So I've had a terrible diet. I've been going to get fast food, eating lots of potato chips, lots of sugary snacks. I go out to dinner whenever I can. I do drink plenty of water, but I also find myself drinking a lot of soda and energy drinks too that are loaded with sugar. Combine that with a lack of exercise, and my job requires me to sit in a cubicle all day. It's the perfect storm for weight gain. With no exercise involved, that weight gain is mostly in the form of fat. So the first step in fixing any problem is identifying and acknowledging the problem. Now that I've acknowledged my problem, let's do something about it. I'm going to need a fat cutting diet.
Fat cutting diet.
So every choice I made thus far has ultimately gained me a lot of extra weight in the form of fat. Fat cutting is actually a valid term that is used widely in bodybuilding and simply is a lot of committed hard work to get rid of the fat gained during what I have coined the fat bulking diet, which for me is what I've been on most of my life. The rest of this video is going to set up some goals to set the foundation of my fat cut. My entire life, my weight has been up and down. I've been as low as 179 pounds and as high as 262 pounds. Funny thing is I've had a gym membership pretty much the entire time. I've spent countless hours doing cardio and weightlifting. Even still, the problem has persisted. So I know hitting the gym isn't going to solve the problem. This is a diet issue. A couple of years ago, I found myself back at my heaviest. This is me at a whopping 256 pounds. I felt terrible. I was busy with college, worked late nights, ate fast food for convenience, found myself eating out more than I was eating at home, and I downed way too many pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream during late night homework sessions. Thankfully, this is me now. A much better start to this effort. My starting weight is 225 pounds. I'm guessing my body fat is somewhere around 30%. Getting to this point was through a series of weight loss attempts and sometimes even placing online bets to increase my motivation using money as the motivator. For those unfamiliar with online diet betting, you can place a bet on losing a certain amount of weight within a given time frame. As players are added to a game, the prize pot grows bigger. And if you reach your goal, you stand to make a good return on your investment. Check out the description below for a link to check out one of these bets. Because of my high body fat percentage, I'm initially shooting for a goal of roughly 2 pounds a week of weight loss. Adjusting for water weight losses, this should give me a 1-month goal of roughly 215 pounds and a 3-month goal of roughly 194 pounds. Now that I've actually acknowledged the problem and set some goals, how exactly am I going to pull this off? Well, it's rather simple actually. There's only 3 main variables: increased physical activity, calorie restriction, and proper planning. Let's tackle these one at a time. So as I mentioned earlier, I sit behind a cubicle all day. Now there's not really much I can do about that, but what about at lunchtime? See, my workplace is awesome in the fact that we get a buffet style lunch completely free of charge. This is super easy and convenient. However, it's probably not a good idea if I'm trying to lose weight. So instead, I'll take a stroll down to a nice scenic lake that just happens to be right near my work. And each lap around this lake is roughly a mile. So if I could pull off 2 laps around this lake, which will roughly take me about 40 minutes of time, and I keep the pace up and make it a brisk walk, I could roughly burn about 300 calories just at my lunchtime. And then when I get done with this walk, I can come back and have a nice, planned, controlled portion of lunch. Another thing I could do is wake up an hour earlier each morning. So I could easily get in a quick 20 to 30 minute cardio session before I even leave for work or before anybody else even wakes up. Now, I happen to have a cardio machine at my house, but I could also just go for a morning walk around the neighborhood. Doing 20-30 minutes of extra cardio in the morning time will enable me to burn roughly 200 extra calories. I would like to increase my muscle size and strength during this process, or at a minimum at least maintain my existing muscle size and strength. This in the end will make me look better and definitely would make me feel better. To accomplish this, I aim to do 4 days worth of full body workouts during the week. These workouts will probably roughly last an hour and will expend roughly 500 calories. That's it for activity changes. So now let's tackle number 2, calorie restriction. Roughly 90% of weight loss and body composition is the result of choices that we make about the food and drinks that we put into our mouths. Now I will go into detail about what I will be consuming in a future video. However, for now, let's crunch some numbers and set some goals. I have calculated my resting metabolic rate to be roughly 2,100 calories. Your resting metabolic rate, or RMR, is a fancy way of saying my maintenance calories assuming no activity. Since 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories, in order to achieve 2 pounds per week of weight loss, I need to have a weekly deficit of 7,000 calories. Since a week is 7 days, this means I will need to create a shortage of 1,000 calories a day, either through diet alone or diet and exercise. If I decided to do no exercise and did diet alone, to achieve this deficit, I would need to consume no more than 1,100 calories a day. This is completely doable and would work. However, in order to maintain my existing muscle mass, I will need to work out. Because of this, I will increase my calories slightly to roughly 1,400 calories on workout days and roughly 1,200 calories on rest days. Keep in mind, by rest day, I mean I will not be doing any weightlifting, but I will still be walking and getting simple cardio in. Because I am concerned about muscle loss and hoping for potential muscle gains, a high amount of protein will be targeted in my diet. I will be shooting for a target of 70% of my body weight in grams of protein. So at 225 pounds, this is roughly 160 grams of protein. From there, I will take the remaining calories and divide them between carbs and fats, with 70% of the calories coming from fat and 30% coming from carbs. This equates out to 56 grams of carbs and 58 grams of fat on workout days, and 41 grams of carbs and 43 grams of fat on rest days. As you can see, based on this split, grams of carbs and fat are about equal. It is very important that you do not restrict fat too much, as fat is responsible for hormone production. These calculations can be tedious, so I created a spreadsheet to make my life a lot easier. As I plan my food and drop weight, these numbers will be constantly changing, so using a spreadsheet such as this will come in handy. I will go over how to calculate all of this and may even provide a copy of my spreadsheets in a future video. Now that we know how many calories that I need to consume, let's talk about number 3, planning. With kids, work, and other weekly activities, it's important to know when you can do things and actually commit to them. The first thing I need to know is what days and times I can commit to doing my 4 weekly workouts. With proper planning, I could have my workout clothes in my car, so when I leave work, I can just change into my gym clothes and perform my workouts before I even get home. Usually, if it's not planned, it's probably not going to get done. When it comes to eating, meals need to be planned at a minimum the day before. You should know exactly what you're going to be eating and when you're going to be eating it the next day. So plan on loading up a cooler the night before or the morning of and pack everything that you're going to need for the amount of time that you're going to be gone. There's nothing worse than being hungry and not having your next meal on you. Temptation is just too great to eat other things, especially when you're around other people. There's something to be said about social eating. It's very satisfying, but it could also make you fail. And that's all that's necessary as long as you restrict your calories, increase your exercise, and have proper planning. This year we'll see a more fit and trim you. And as far as my body transformation, this is just the beginning. I'm fully committed and I intend to publish progress videos on this channel to keep everyone up to date. I hope you follow along and make changes in your own life to progress you towards your goals. Let's do this together. Just like you, I've decided right now is the time for change, because waiting until tomorrow is simply wasting another day. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to keep up to date on my progress. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to help me out. And if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, and remember, today's progress was yesterday's plan. Have a good day, guys.